Yo, what's going on, guys? This Houston Sports Talk is back in the video today, and today the Houston Astros crushed the Los Angeles Angels 14-3. What a win for the Astros today. Offense, look, there have been a couple games where they've been okay, like the Sunday game where they came back from down 7-1 against the Twins and scored 9 runs, and went to extra innings and Jordan hit the two-run home run. Or there have been a couple other games this season where their offense looks pretty solid. But this game, or the last game against Seattle, when the Astros finished off that series and lost 6-7, the offense wasn't that bad. They scored 6 runs, 10 hits, 7 walks. They've had some solid games here and there, but you haven't seen the offense explode yet, and that's what you saw today. 14 runs, 16 hits. The highest the Astros had in runs before today was 9. They reached 14 today. They didn't have double digits yet. 16 hits today. Highest before that was 13 hits. They even had a season high in walks, 8. Their last game having 7 walks was their highest, and their best day with runners in scoring position, 6 for 11 with runners in scoring position. That doesn't include a couple sac flies as well. Before today, most hits the Astros have had with runners in scoring position were 4 hits. In those 2 days, 4 for 13 and 4 for 15. So by far the best day for the Astros so far this season with runners in scoring position. This offense was just unbelievable today. And on top of that, not only that, but also, this Astros lineup hit the most home runs they've hit in a game so far this season. 3 home runs. Before that, the most home runs was 2 for this Astros team. So just unbelievable for this Astros team. 6-7 now, 3-4 at home. You might think a 6-7 record is a bad record, which it's a mid record. If you think about it and you look at, the Astros are struggling. This is my favorite saying of the year so far. If you ever think the Astros are struggling, go back and look at where this team was last year compared to the point of this, where this team is this year. Last year, through 13 games, the Astros were 4-9. This year, 6-7. Not only that, but you also add in the other thing of the fact that, it took the Astros a total of 17 games to get 6 wins last year, and here we are 13 games in, they already got that 6th win. So, such a good day for this offense. Let's go over some stats from this game. 14-3 is the final score. 16 hits. Going back to 14-3. And that score, if you don't look at the Angels logo and the Astros logo, and you just look at the Houston initials and the Los Angeles initials, I would have thought it was in the second quarter of a Texans-Chargers game. But 16 hits for the Astros, 7 hits for the Angels, 2 errors for the Angels, 1 for the Astros. Win goes to Ronel Blanco, 1-1. 5 innings for Ronel, 4 hits given up, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. His best outing of the year. His first outing was 5 innings, 3 earned runs, and then his second outing was 1 2/3, 4 earned runs. So, a little bit better than his first start of the season. So, and he gets his first win, so it's nice to see that for Ronel. I think that the thing with Ronel that it's good to see with him, this could have been viewed as a bad start, because I feel like with tomorrow most likely being a really big bullpen day for this Astros team, with Ryan Gusto being on the mound, he's not very rested pitching on Tuesday. At the most, I think Ryan Gusto goes 4 innings, maybe 4 in 1/3 or 4 2/3. I don't see him going 5 innings with him, only having 3 days of, full rest. So, in a close game, I think you would have needed Ronel Blanco to go 6 innings tonight. But the fact that the Astros weren't very, this game was not even close. You didn't need some of your guys that you want to use in a game where you need the bullpen. Like, think about it. You didn't have to use Josh Hader tonight. You didn't have to use Brian Abreu. You didn't have to use other guys like Stephen Okert or Brian King. Guys like that got to sit tonight, and some of the other bottom guys in the bullpen pitched today for this Astros team. And I think this would have been viewed as a bad start for Ronell if the Astros would have had to use their bullpen more, to the part, where it's their good bullpen, but the offense backed Ronell back. They backed them up today to the point where the Astros had other, guys come out of the bullpen like Logan Vinway making his major league debut and giving you a couple innings. Luis Contreras, who's a guy who, nothing wrong with him, but he's not someone I don't think Joe Espada would trust in a close game anymore after the other day. And then Taylor Scott, who, yes, is a really good reliever off this bullpen, but right now is someone that, is just, struggling right now, and that's why the Astros put him in this game today. All right, loss went to Koshowitz. He's 1-1 now, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 strikeout, 3 walks. His first start against this Astros team, and it wasn't a great one. Scoring summary: Astros get on the board first in the second inning when Jake Myers hits a sacrifice fly to right. Jeremy Pena scores. It's 1-0. That's back-to-back games for Jake Myers now with RBIs, and it was 1-0. I'll say this one thing that I loved with this Astros team today is getting more aggressive at sending fly balls to the outfield with with no outs or 1 out. When a runner on third, and getting more sac flies. I think that's something the Astros haven't done enough. Is you've seen so many times this year where the Astros with no outs or 1 out have a runner on third and have an opportunity to send a fly ball to the outfield and put a run on the board, and haven't done it. Sure, we've seen a couple of sac flies here and there, but you haven't seen enough. You haven't seen enough of them with some of the runners the Astros have had on base this year. And Jake Myers did that early on. Trout hit a home run in the 4th inning to make it 1-1. Then Adele reached on an infield single that scored Paris. It's 2-1. And this is where the Astros just go nuts in the 5th inning. Yordan Alvarez hits an RBI single to center to get Altuve home. Paredes to third, 2-2. Then Christian Walker hits a ball to left field really hard. Paredes scores and Alvarez to second. Then we see a walk for Jeremy Pena. It loads the bases up, and here comes Yainer Diaz. Here was the mistake that the Angels made. They brought in a lefty for Yainer Diaz, and he had already, I think he earlier in the game in the 2nd inning he had hit a single, and I think that was his first hit in a while because he was 2 for 33 before that single, and I think that really made Yainer Diaz start to feel good about himself. And then you put Yainer Diaz up against a lefty when Yainer Diaz had a batting average of almost 310 against lefties last year, a batting average of almost 340 at home last year, one of the best players playing in their home stadium last year, and then you put a lefty against him with the bases loaded. That's not a good matchup. Honestly, I don't know if Yainer Diaz hits a grand slam if you just put in a righty, but what Ron Washington really did wrong there was putting in a lefty for Yainer Diaz, and he makes Ron Washington regret it. 382 feet. It ends the grand slam drought for the Astros. Last time the Astros did a grand slam was September 6th. Yeah, it's not September 6, 2024. It's September 6, 2023. And it was Jose Abreu that hit that one. But he hits a home run grand slam, his first of his career. Alvarez scored. Walker scored. Pena scored at 7-2. Then in the 6th inning, next inning, the Astros continue to get it going. Paredes would score off of a wild pitch, and it was 8-2. And then Jeremy Pena would bring in Alvarez off of a sacrifice fly, and it was 9-2. And then Yainer Diaz almost had a second home run right here. 6th inning, Yainer Diaz doubled to center. Walker scored. It's 10-2. Yainer Diaz with his 5th RBI off of that RBI double. Before this game, the highest RBIs Yainer Diaz had in a game was 3, and he hit 5. One of his swings today gave him a career high in RBIs. So, yeah. And then Cam Smith, it was the Cam Smith show after this. Cam Smith, single to center. Diaz scored on the error. Smith safe at second on fielding error by center field Adele. Myers safe at third on error. It's 11-2. And then Jorge Solar reached on an infield single to third. Ward scored Rengifo to third. It's 11-3. Cam Smith would hit a home run to left center for his first major league home run, 370 feet. Myers scored. It's 13-3. I know that felt good, but the Astros weren't done in that 8th inning because then Isaac Paredes hits his first home run of his Astros career, 372 feet. It hit the Chick-fil-A foul pole, and everybody gets Chick-fil-A when, I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. Everybody gets Chick-fil-A when it hits the foul pole. That's why it's the Chick-fil-A foul pole. But yeah, Isak sent one right there. It was his longest drought without a home run. You knew it was coming. I knew Isak was going to hit a home run in this series. I just didn't know when it was going to be. But here it was today. All right. So yeah, great day for this lineup. Altuve went 1 for 4. Honestly, Jose Altuve was good today, but he was kind of bad if you compare to all the other guys in the lineup outside of Mauricio Dubon. I mean, Altuve went 1 for 4 today. Ground out to first his first at bat, safe at first on fielding error, but a very embarrassing play for Altuve as he was out at first, tripped on his way to second. Then he reached on an infield single to shortstop and scored a run in that fifth inning, but he got taken out late in the game since it was such a blowout, and they brought in Zach Dezinza, who got 2 at-bats and went 0 for 2, struck out, and lined out to center. Isak Paredes went 3 for 4 today, ground out to third, single to left, walk in the fifth, walk in the sixth, 7th inning single to center, and a home run in the 8th. And for Isak, it was 5 straight plate appearances for him reaching base. After his first inning ground out, it was, those bases were, Isak was enjoying those bases. A 3 runs scored for Isak as well today. Yordan Alvarez, how about this? Before today's game, the only run Yordan Alvarez has scored this season was when he hit a 2-run home run last weekend against the Twins. Well, he scored 2 runs today, and he didn't even hit a home run. 2 for 4, struck out looking in his first at-bat, ground out to second, then hits a RBI single to score Altuve. That's his 9th RBI this season, I believe. 6th inning single to right, Paredes to third. In the 6th inning, he ended up scoring in that inning off of a Pena sac fly. Chas McCormick went 0 for 1, replacing Yordan. He walked in the 7th inning and then struck out swinging in the 8th inning. Chas does have a lot of walks this season, I will say. Christian Walker, 2 for 3, 2 walks today. I mean, like I said, a season-high 8 walks. There were a lot of walks. Christian Walker had 2 of them. How about his last couple games as an Astro? Has 4 walks. He had none in the season before the last 2 games for the Astros, but 4 in the last 2. He singled to left for an RBI in his third at-bat, and then last at-bat was an infield single to second for Walker. 2 for 3 day for Walker, scoring 2 runs with 2 walks. Not bad. Caratini would replace him late game, play some first base, but would not have any at-bats. Yainer Diaz was the player of the game today, 3 for 5, single to right in the 2nd inning. Ground out 4th inning, home run to left center, 382 feet. Alvarez scored. Walker, Pena scored. Double RBI in the 6th inning, ground out to third in the 7th inning. That was a bases loaded at bat for Diaz in the 7th as well. Jake Myers went 2 for 3 today. Sac fly, RBI in the 2nd, ground out to third in the 4th, single to left in the 5th, walk in the 6th, single to left in the 8th. Jake batting .313 this year right now. Cam Smith, 2 for 4 day. First 2 at-bats, fly out to left, ground out to pitcher. 5th inning walk, and then 6th inning single to center, scored Diaz on the error. And then Smith got to second on the error, and then 2-run home run in second at-bat, batting .241 now in the year. And then you got to feel bad for Mauricio Dubon. Everybody in this lineup had success today. Everybody in this lineup had a hit today. A lot of guys had multiple hits. Cam Smith, Jake Myers, Yainer Diaz, Christian Walker, Yordan Alvarez, Isak, all had multiple hits. That's 6 of the other 8 guys in the lineup outside of Dubon had multiple hits. Even other guys like Pena and Altuve had hits. But then you got Mauricio Dubon and went 0 for 4. You got to feel bad. It was a party, and no one invited Mauricio Dubon. He did have some hard hit balls in the 5th inning, or in the 5th inning and the 6th inning. He was like the last out of the 5th and 6th inning. And the 5th inning, he had a hard ground out to third, but it was a good play by the third baseman, Rengifo, and then line out to shortstop in the 6th inning. But it was a good catch by Tim Anderson, who was playing shortstop at the time. So some tough luck for Dubon today. Had some nice hits, but just weren't connecting. Like I talked about, Blanco pitched 5 innings, but then we saw Logan Van Wee make his Major League debut, 2 innings with 1 strikeout. There's no hits given up, no earned runs, no walks. I'm glad we got to see this kid pitch today. I mean, he's someone I said needed to make this Major League, this opening day roster. He didn't make the cut. He killed in spring training. He pitched almost like 12 innings and didn't give up an earned run and killed it. He should have been on the roster, but it is what it is. Taylor Scott pitched 1 inning for the Astros in the 8th, gave it 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. I think the plan might have been for him to pitch a 9th inning if he didn't pitch 26 pitches in the 8th inning. But Taylor Scott's just really struggling right now, and the Astros using the 8th to try to get him out of the struggling times, and that didn't really work. Luis Contreras pitched the 9th inning, gave it 1 hit. But at least you got guys like Taylor Scott and Luis Contreras pitching today. That 2 guys that have been struggling recently, and hopefully that means you're not going to see those guys tomorrow pitching for the Astros, because the Astros are going to have to rely on their bullpen for at least half the game tomorrow with Ryan Gusto not being very rested up. Here's the good thing for the Astros tomorrow. For the first time tomorrow, the Astros will face a lefty for the first time this season, first time facing a left-handed starter this season, and it's Tim Anderson, a guy Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve have a lot of success again, so that should be interesting. But then before today, you had guys like Christian Walker, Yordan Alvarez, and Yainer Diaz all struggling, and you all saw them have multiple hits today. Yordan had 2 for 4 day RBI. Christian Walker 2 for 3 RBI, 2 runs scored, 2 walks. Yainer Diaz 3 for 5 day career, 5 RBIs, first grand slam of his career. And then those are all guys that are much better facing left-handed pitchers. And tomorrow they're going to see a left-handed pitcher in Tim Anderson. I think that makes it dangerous. I think you look at Walker, you look at Alvarez, you look at Diaz, and they're high right now. They're confident in themselves, and then they're going to see something that makes them more confident in a lefty. So that definitely excites me as an Astros fan. Let me know your thoughts on this performance of the Astros in the comment section, and peace out. Go Astros.